First and foremost, congratulations on taking over the very important Surface Transportation Subcommittee. This, I think, is your first official hearing, and so congratulations on that. It's an appropriate subject. I'm also looking forward to working with you on a long-term, robustly funded surface transportation bill. I think everybody in the audience should clap at that point. I delve very deeply into highway and motor carrier safety during my 4 years as chairman of the subcommittee. 9 hearings. Many of the problems we investigated: development of the CSA, drug testing, medical qualifications of drivers, bus safety, truck size and weight, cross-border trucking, FMCSA's oversight of carriers. It's all, unfortunately, still very much a work in progress. Very little has been settled. Since FMCSA was created, Congress has continuously legislated in this area. In MAP 21 alone, we directed FMCSA to undertake 41 regulatory changes, most of which required rulemaking. We keep mandating lots of activity, and today it seems to have resulted in less clarity for the industry and a wide variety of stakeholders. I think we can do better. The title of this hearing is The Future of Motor Carrier Safety, and I hope some forward-thinking ideas come out of this hearing. I'm very open to solutions that allow flexibility while advancing safety and helping drivers do their jobs more efficiently. And I think in order to look holistically at safety, we've got to look at the realities and the pressures on the ground or on the highway in the industry and understand what drives decision-making and behavior by companies and drivers. And federal rules are just one part of that. Temporarily blocking FMCSA efforts or granting exemptions may provide some degree of relief or advantage to one segment of the industry or another, but it's a Band-Aid approach. It's not what we should be doing long term. Let's take an example, and I spent some time on this issue: hours of service. FMCSA's regulations are incredibly difficult to understand. For our economy to thrive, we can't hamstring companies with overly prescriptive rules. At the same time, hours of service are the basic wage and hour laws for the men and women whose office is the highway, and they aren't eligible for overtime under the Fair Labor Standards Act, and we need to address the really very important potential for fatigued drivers on the highways. But I don't think we can get there until we address some underlying issues, such as detention time. Changes in hours of service rules will have limited impact if we haven't dealt with detention time, particularly as relates to independent and small business drivers. A truck driver gets to the loading dock, shipper facility. They can sit there, say, 3 hours, sometimes even more, waiting, but it counts against their daily and weekly, on-duty limits. And most truck drivers are paid by the load rather than a set wage, the independent and small business. So these drivers often face the impossible choice between earning less money than they need to stay in business, despite working a 14-hour day, or violating hours of service rules or shading them a little bit. That's a problem that should be dealt with. We used to have rules to deal with that. There's no incentive on the other side of these loads anymore without detention time pay to be efficient for the drivers. It's better with the bigger companies because they can really carry some clout there, but for a lot of the small business and independents, it's a very real problem. I've introduced legislation on the detention time in the past, because we owe it to drivers to get the rules right, to combat fatigue, and to give them a fair shot at making a good living. And if the current rules don't get to that goal, then Congress needs to look at other solutions. I look forward to hearing some innovative ideas. I thank the witnesses for their somewhat voluminous testimony. I did read it all on the airplane yesterday. Luckily, I had a 5-hour flight, and coffee. But there are some very interesting premises in there. I do find some differences of opinion on some critical issues, and hopefully that will come out during the hearing today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Ray.